you're writing a book now, right? And it seems like you're having trouble writing this book from following you. Is that accurate? Were you having trouble writing the book, or talk to me about that, the struggle?
Hmm. Yeah, writing the book has been quite a struggle so far. It's been a struggle in just like lots of different ways. I don't like to over glamorize the struggle because I think there's a lot of like struggle porn out there, like, hey, look how hard I'm working and blah blah blah. And it's not like objectively hard work. Like being a coal miner is hard work. Writing a book, typing away on a computer is not that hard. But it's just been a lot of things that I've had to deal with that I'm just not used to dealing with. So, for example, external expectations from publishers and deadlines, and having to do a book proposal to convince people to buy the rights to the book, because we've got a deal in the UK and now we're trying to get a deal in the US and internationally, and that requires a proposal. And that meant I had to sort of spend absolutely ages writing up a sort of 10-page marketing plan to basically convince a publisher that, hey, my audience is big, please be convinced that they'll buy the book, and therefore you should sign me as an author. It's just stuff that I'm not used to doing. Like what I'm used to doing is just putting out useful content on YouTube and then leaving it at that. Whereas
Mhm.
in writing this book proposal, I had to sell myself a lot, which I feel very like deeply uncomfortable about. And now that we're in more of the writing stage, like the thing that makes writing good is usually when it's very personal. And there's a quote that I like, which is that writing a book is easy. All you have to do is cut a gash in your arm and bleed onto the page. And I was interviewing a guy called Alex Benayan who wrote a fantastic book called The Third Door. And he was saying as well that the more personal you can make your book, the more it's going to resonate with people. But it's deeply uncomfortable to write about yourself,
Mhm.
especially in the form of a book, where you get all the imposter syndrome. You get thinking like, oh my God, like why the hell would anyone want to read my personal story? This is meant to be a book about productivity. Surely I should be citing studies and famous people like Elon Musk. People care about him. But I found that all of the writing that I enjoy reading is the personal kind. And so that's something I've been working through with my writing coach, just being okay with this writing about yourself thing, which apparently is something that every author struggles with. So there's nothing new,
Mhm.
but it's been an interesting series of struggles that I haven't really done before.
On the back to the selling yourself to the publisher, what was your thought process in terms of going to a publisher as opposed to just self-publishing, because your audience is massive and I feel like if you did, that would sell. What was the appeal?
Yeah, so I'd had the thought in my mind for a while of, hey, it would be cool to write a book someday. But it was around August time that a publisher approached me and emailed me saying, hey, have you thought about writing a book? I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And so that was how I got into the whole publisher thing. And I thought about it for a long time. And I think there is still some level of prestige in having a traditionally published book. And so for me, like, thankfully, the YouTube and the business is doing well enough that I don't need the book to make money. Instead, I see the book more as a brand building opportunity, or as like a lead magnet that's out there in the world. And I think having a traditionally published book does, like, it is more of a prestige brand value, even if the royalties are like 10%, when in reality, when the royalties for self-published book would be like 80%. So that was kind of the main reason I did it. Plus, I thought it would be kind of fun. Like, I'm used to self-publishing stuff. I can make videos on YouTube. I know I could self-publish a book if I want, but doing it with a publisher and like getting into that industry felt more new. It felt more scary. And my general philosophy is, if I'm scared about something, I should do it. And so that was the reason.